How to learn English. Mia felt a heavy weight. Learning English seemed an impossible mountain. Every conversation felt like a barrier, a wall she couldn't climb. She understood grammar rules perfectly, yet her tongue often tied itself in knots. Frustration mounted, threatening to make her abandon her dream. She yearned for fluent, natural communication, but the path felt shrouded in mist. One evening, overwhelmed, she stumbled upon an old online forum. It wasn't about quick fixes but deep, fundamental shifts. The first advice resonated profoundly. How to learn English begins not with words but with sounds. This idea sparked a tiny flicker of hope within her. A new direction. Why You Must Listen was the heading that captivated her next. It emphasized that listening is the foundation, the crucial input for natural output. Just as a baby learns by hearing, an English learner must immerse themselves. Mia realized her previous approach had been too focused on textbooks alone. She started with podcasts and audiobooks not just as background noise but with active engagement. Every morning during her commute, she would put on her headphones. She wasn't just hearing. She was truly listening for rhythm, intonation, and common phrases. This felt like a new brain exercise. Slowly, the seemingly complex web of native speech began to untangle. She paid attention to how words connected, how stress fell on syllables, and how emotions were conveyed. This deep dive into listening practice opened her ears to nuances she had previously missed entirely. It was a revelation. Mia started to mimic phrases silently, trying to replicate the exact pronunciation. This wasn't about speaking yet, but about internalizing the sounds. She realized that listening was not a passive activity, but an active one that required concentration and repetition. It built her auditory library. The more she listened, the more patterns emerged. Certain phrases repeated themselves, embedding into her memory effortlessly. This repetition, fueled by consistent listening, made her brain start recognizing familiar structures. It felt like unlocking a secret code one sound at a time. Then came the next critical step: how to think and speak. This concept was revolutionary for Mia. She had always translated from her native language, a slow and cumbersome process. The article suggested thinking directly in English even about mundane things. Her internal monologue became her first English playground. While doing dishes, she described the soap bubbles. Walking outside, she named objects in English. This continuous, silent practice of thinking in English felt strange initially, but soon became surprisingly natural and fluid. This shift from translation to direct thought was the bridge she needed. It eliminated the middleman, speeding up her mental processing. Her brain began to associate concepts directly with English words, rather than routing through her mother tongue. It was truly transformative. With listening and thinking well underway, the time came for how to practice English aloud. Mia started by talking to herself in front of a mirror. She described her day, imagined conversations, and read aloud from books. This solo practice built initial confidence. She even recorded her voice using her phone. Listening back was uncomfortable at first, highlighting her hesitations and mispronunciations. However, it was also incredibly insightful, showing her specific areas needing improvement. This brave self-assessment accelerated her progress significantly. The advice talk in English, just one page per day, became her daily ritual. She picked any English text, an article, a short story, and committed to reading one page aloud fluently and with expression every single day, no matter what. This daily reading practice wasn't just about pronunciation. It built oral fluency. Her mouth and tongue muscles got accustomed to forming English sounds. It felt like physical training for her speech apparatus, making speaking less of a struggle. It truly transformed her vocal habits. From reading, she moved to summarizing. After reading the page, she would try to articulate its main points in her own words, still speaking to herself. This pushed her to generate her own sentences, not just repeat others, fostering greater spontaneity in her speech. While solo practice was good, she knew she needed real human interaction. The next step was how to talk to people in pairs. This felt intimidating, but the article stressed that a safe, non-judgmental environment was key for overcoming shyness. She found an online language exchange platform. After a few tentative messages, she connected with Ken, a student learning her native language. Their first video call was nerve-wracking, but the shared goal made it easier to connect and communicate. They agreed on a structure: half an hour in English, half an hour in her native language. This mutual exchange provided both motivation and accountability. They chose topics in advance, which helped reduce anxiety during the English talking practice sessions. Ken was patient, and Mia realized that making mistakes was part of the process, not a sign of failure. They corrected each other gently, always focusing on clear communication. Their bond grew, and her fear of how to talk in English diminished with each call. Real-time feedback from a peer was invaluable. Ken would point out natural phrasing, correct awkward sentences, and encourage her when she hesitated. This immediate correction reinforced correct usage in a way that self-study couldn't replicate effectively. During their conversations, new vocabulary naturally emerged from the discussion topics. Instead of memorizing isolated words, she learned them in context, making them much easier to retain and recall when needed for future conversations. This practical application was powerful. After several weeks of successful pair practice, Mia felt confident enough to join a small online English discussion group. This was a bigger leap with more voices and opinions, but her foundation from pair work made it less daunting than it would have been before. Participating in a group required quicker thinking and the ability to interject politely. It challenged her to formulate thoughts on the fly, listen actively to multiple speakers, and contribute meaningfully to dynamic conversations. It was intense but exhilarating. Gradually, Mia's confidence soared. She found herself participating more actively, her opinions expressed with clarity and increasing fluency. The fear of making mistakes had largely dissipated, replaced by a genuine enjoyment of the communicative process. She started applying her skills in real-life situations, ordering coffee, asking for directions, even making small talk with tourists. Each interaction, no matter how brief, was a victory, reinforcing her belief in her progress and capability. Even as her speaking improved, Mia never abandoned listen and practice. She understood its continuous importance. She diversified her listening materials, exploring different accents and topics, further refining her auditory comprehension skills. She moved from general conversation podcasts to academic lectures and complex documentaries. This exposed her to more sophisticated vocabulary and nuanced arguments, pushing her comprehension to an even higher level, making her a more versatile listener. Her ability to how to think and speak improved dramatically. Thoughts formed in English without conscious effort. Dreams even began to feature English conversations, a true sign of deep linguistic integration within her subconscious mind. Spontaneous speaking became second nature. She no longer had to pre-plan every sentence. Ideas flowed from her mind to her lips with ease, allowing for more natural, engaging conversations that felt less like an effort and more like a joy. Mia learned to embrace imperfection. She understood that fluency wasn't about speaking flawlessly, but about communicating effectively and confidently, even with a few errors. This mindset shift reduced pressure and allowed for more natural expression. Mia realized how to improve your English was an ongoing cycle. Listen, think, speak, practice, get feedback, and repeat. It wasn't a destination but a continuous journey of growth and refinement. Every day offered new opportunities for learning. Her journey taught her that dedication and consistency were paramount. Small daily efforts compounded into significant progress over time. There were no shortcuts, only persistent, thoughtful engagement with the language in all its forms and complexities. Most importantly, English unlocked a world of connection. She could understand global news, enjoy international films without subtitles, and most profoundly, connect with people from diverse backgrounds, sharing ideas and building bridges. From a timid, hesitant learner, Mia transformed into a confident, articulate speaker. Her initial frustration was a distant memory, replaced by pride in her hard-earned fluency. Her journey became an inspiration for others struggling with language learning. Mia began sharing her story and methods. She emphasized the power of how to think and speak, and the necessity of listen and practice. Her personal journey provided compelling evidence of these techniques' effectiveness in real-world application. She showed others that starting small, like talking English just one page per day, can lead to monumental shifts. She encouraged everyone to find their language partner, emphasizing the benefits of how to talk to people in pairs. Mia became a global communicator, no longer limited by language barriers. Her world expanded, full of new opportunities for travel, career, and personal growth. English was not just a skill, it was a key to liberation. Even with high fluency, Mia maintained her English talking practice. She joined online book clubs and volunteered for international projects, ensuring her skills remained sharp and continued to evolve with new experiences. She frequently reminded new learners that mistakes are not failures but stepping stones. Every error offers a chance to learn and refine. This positive outlook on error correction was crucial for maintaining motivation and progress. Her improved English also deepened her understanding of different cultures. Language is intertwined with culture, and her fluency allowed her to appreciate nuances, humor, and perspectives that were previously inaccessible to her. Mia realized learning English was about more than just vocabulary and grammar. It was about connecting with people, expressing her authentic self, and participating in a global dialogue that enriched her life immeasurably. Her advice to beginners was always the same. Start small, start consistent. Embrace listening first, then thinking. Don't be afraid to sound silly. Find a partner. Most importantly, enjoy the process and celebrate every tiny victory. The first step, she'd say, is simply deciding that you can do it. The mindset shift from "I can't" to "I will try" is often the biggest hurdle. Once that mental block is removed, the path becomes clearer. She advocated for setting realistic, achievable goals. Instead of "become fluent in a month," Aim for listen for 15 minutes daily, or read one page aloud. Small wins build momentum and prevent burnout. Mia stressed using varied resources. Native podcasts, YouTube videos, news articles, simple books, even children's stories. Exposure to different forms of English kept the learning fresh and engaging, preventing monotony. As she progressed, Mia found her unique English voice. It wasn't about imitating others perfectly, but about expressing her personality and thoughts authentically, making the language truly her own. Her transformation inspired countless others in her community. They saw her journey as proof that dedication combined with effective strategies could indeed lead to remarkable linguistic breakthroughs and personal empowerment. Learning English didn't just add a skill. It shaped a new aspect of her identity. She felt more capable, more connected, and more confident in various aspects of her life, not just communication. The ripple effect of her English learning extended beyond herself. She helped friends and family members start their own journeys, creating a supportive network of language learners around her. Mia understood that how to improve your English was a lifelong journey, not a destination. There was always more to learn, new nuances to discover, and new people to connect with through the power of language. Her story truly highlighted the incredible power of perseverance. Even when facing doubt or setbacks, maintaining consistent effort ultimately leads to profound and lasting success in language acquisition. She learned to celebrate every small win, understanding a new idiom, completing a conversation without hesitation, or even just correctly pronouncing a challenging word. These small victories fueled her motivation. The internet truly became her global classroom. Online communities, resources, and language partners provided an unparalleled learning environment that transcended geographical boundaries and time zones. Mia's success proved that real fluency happens beyond the textbook. It's in the messy, wonderful, authentic act of listening, thinking, and speaking the language with real people in real contexts. Her enduring message remains simple yet profound. English is accessible to everyone. With the right strategies, active listening, thinking in English, consistent practice, and human connection, anyone can unlock its incredible potential.